Reed that was going to be leading it. And so I signed up, I packed up my pink flannel PJs and drove out to Vegas, not knowing what I was getting into, but it was just something that I had to do. And so I got there, opened up the door, was welcomed with just loving arms, and for the first 45 minutes of cuddle parties, it's just the welcome circle. And so everybody introduces themselves, they do all kinds of ice-breaking exercises, so by the end of the 45 minutes, you all feel like you know each other, you're not strangers anymore. And it's just a really, really great, oh, and then they go over all of the rules too, so that everybody knows they're on the same page, and you don't have to be scared, and, so you're just all enjoying the same space together. And in that first welcome circle, I felt safe enough to actually share that I was a healer. And that was huge for me because I'd never been able to tell anybody except for really close family members that that's who I was. And it was just so neat to be with these people that I felt like these guys are like me. I feel accepted, I feel validated. And everybody was just so loving and open and sharing all their feelings. And it was just a wonderful, marvelous joy and wonder that this kind of thing actually exists. And 2 weeks later, then they actually held another one out in Vegas, so I went out to that one. And a month later, then I was able to host Utah's first cuddle party here. And so Reed came out here, and so our little St. George was the site of the first Utah cuddle party. And I've since been able to go to 7 other events, and my husband's gone. My 18-year-old son has been able to enjoy a few of them. And it's just so much fun, and it's something that there's nothing like it out in the world. And it's just a great way to get back in touch with touch and feeling safe about it. And after the first 2 cuddle parties especially, then I started feeling those bricks coming down, and I felt dings in that armor that I had built up and those barriers, and I started feeling like me again. And I was able to be expressive and just be me and stop pretending. And it was so important. And sometimes it just takes, one catalyst. And maybe cuddle party's not your catalyst, but just something out there that relates to you and helps you feel great about you. And I do have a little blurb here. I was hoping that Reed could be out here this weekend. He had tried to fly out here, but he had a prior commitment in New York, so he recorded a little 6-minute section for you guys, so you get to hear from Reed. And he's such a neat guy. He really, really walks his talk, and he's just the most authentic soul that I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. So hope you guys enjoy.
Hello everybody, this is Reed Mahalko, and I am the creator of Cuddle Party. And I would just like to say thank you to Monique and to everybody involved with World Peace Gardens that has me now digitally reaching out and touching each of you with my voice. I have been asked to talk a little bit about Cuddle Party and exactly what it is and why it's important. And 5 years ago, I'm a sex and relationship educator. I create a lot of different workshops on all different kinds of topics just to get people to start talking about sex and intimacy and relationships in a different way, a more empowering way. And Cuddle Party was one of those zany ideas, and actually the first workshop that I created that took off and got a lot of media attention right off the bat, because the initial story behind Cuddle Party was that New Yorkers are paying money to cuddle with one another, and that's how bad things have gotten, and the news has to cover this amazing story. And so we got a lot of press and had a lot of fun, and even Stephen Colbert wagged his finger at us, and Jay Leno made some jokes about us. So we were very fortunate to get a lot of press early on that helped spread the news. But really, what Cuddle Party is about, it's about how do you create more touch and nurturing in your life that really nourishes you, and that we as adults, and as children too, we as adults have somehow gotten ourselves into this fix where a lot of us aren't getting enough touch in our lives, and a lot of us are thinking that the only kind of touch we can get has to be sexual, and that's not the case. And the importance of social affection is huge for people just to be able to lead well-balanced lives. And there's a lot of medical research, scientific research, to prove that touch is a pretty basic and very important human need, and that when you get good, nurturing, nourishing touch in your life, your immune system's better, your blood pressure's lower, all these health benefits come into play, as well as the psychological benefits. Mostly because, I mean, we're kind of big hairless monkeys, and we need grooming, and we need cuddling and carousing and things like that. And a lot of us live in societies where it can be very easy that you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and then coming home to either a spouse or a family or maybe just a roommate who's not really cuddly or touchy-feely. And then it can be really easy to be living a life where you're not getting a lot of touch.
He's just so much fun, and he just infuses so much humor and joy into things that would be so serious. And at each of the events, I talked to the attendees afterwards, and every single one of the people there, even the ones that left, because you can leave right after the welcome circle, even the ones that decided that it wasn't for them and that they were leaving, they got exactly what it was that they required out of the situation. If they were sitting in the corner reading, sleeping, spooning with 15 people, you know, whatever it was that they required for that evening, they got it, and it was just such a neat experience. But there's just, you know, there's different avenues of touch that we're going to experiment with in a little bit, but there's so many ways out there that you can involve touch in your life.
I was glad that he brought up the